Listen carefully. Improvement is not a suggestion. It is survival. Every day you grow sharper or you grow weaker. There is no middle ground. The masses waste their hours in distraction, in comfort, in illusions of tomorrow. But you, if you are to rise, you must cut that out of your life. You must advance, even 1% every day, because compounded ruthlessness builds empires. Machiavelli understood this. Fortune favors not the dreamers but the prepared. He taught that rulers must always strengthen their position, even in peace, or risk annihilation when war arrives. That is the strategy. Small, relentless progress day after day until your enemies realize you've become untouchable. 1% daily. That is the weapon. Not wild bursts of effort, not empty promises. Cold, deliberate, incremental growth that compounds into dominance. While others sleep, you sharpen. While others hesitate, you advance. While others waste their lives, you build a fortress. Do not ask for motivation. Do not beg for comfort. Simply improve. One cut at a time, one brick at a time, one step at a time, until the mountain is yours. Comment below. I advance 1% every day. 2. The silent weapon of consistency. The world worships intensity. People chase quick fixes, sudden transformations, overnight victories. But understand this, intensity without consistency is nothing. It burns bright, then dies fast. Real power is built in silence through steady, relentless progress. 1% a day. That is your discipline. It looks small, it feels invisible, but over time, it is devastating. Compounded progress turns the ordinary man into a fortress while the masses remain stuck chasing miracles. Machiavelli warned rulers never to trust appearances. A kingdom may look strong today, but if its walls are not maintained daily, it collapses when the storm comes. Your life is no different. Every day you either reinforce your walls or let them decay. Consistency is how you ensure your fortress never cracks. Cold psychology teaches this. People respect what endures. Anyone can be strong for a moment. Few can be unshakable for years. When you show up every day without excuse, you become a force others cannot comprehend. They wonder why you do not tire. They wonder why you do not quit. The answer is simple. You have chosen consistency as your weapon. Masculine stoicism sharpens it further. You do not complain. You do not announce every step. You simply build brick after brick until the weight of your work is undeniable. You become untouchable, not through noise, but through inevitable presence. So commit to it. 1% every day. That's all. And in a year you will be unrecognizable. In 5 years, unstoppable. In a decade, untouchable. Comment below. Consistency is my crown. 3. The Machiavellian eye for opportunity. Improvement is not just about effort, it is about vision. You can grind endlessly, but if you are blind to opportunity, you remain trapped in mediocrity. Machiavelli taught rulers to see what others overlook, to anticipate moves long before they unfold. That is your task now, to train your eyes to see openings where others see walls. Most men stumble through life reacting. They move only when forced. They wait for permission for conditions to be perfect. That is weakness. Opportunity never announces itself. It appears disguised as struggle hidden inside adversity, wrapped in discomfort. The Machiavellian mind does not complain when the storm arrives. It studies the storm, learns its pattern, and bends it into advantage. 1% growth is not random. It is targeted. Every day you sharpen your awareness. You ask, where is the leverage? Where is the opening? What weakness can I exploit in myself or in others? This is not cruelty. It is survival. The fox and the lion both thrive because they see what prey cannot. Cold psychology tells us that most men are blind because of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of loss. That fear clouds their vision. But you, if you are to become untouchable, you must detach. Fear is irrelevant. Rejection is irrelevant. Loss is inevitable. The only question is, can you turn it into progress? Stoic realism supports this. The Stoics knew life would bring hardship. They did not deny it. They prepared for it. Machiavelli echoed this. He warned rulers to build defenses in times of calm, because when the chaos comes, the unprepared are swept away. Every day you must look ahead. Build while others waste time. Prepare while others rest. Soon people will call you lucky. They will not see the years of strategy, of watching, of refining your vision. They will not know you trained yourself to see opportunities hidden in shadows. But you will know, and that knowledge will make you inevitable. Comment below. I see what others miss. 4. Turning discipline into power. Discipline is the foundation of every throne. Without it, strategy collapses, vision crumbles, and desire rots into nothing. With it, you become a man others cannot shake. Discipline is the dividing line between weakness and sovereignty. Most men think discipline is suffering, a chain that denies them pleasure. They see it as punishment, but that is their mistake. Discipline is not a cage. It is a sword. It cuts away distraction. It silences excuses. It destroys weakness. It leaves only strength. Without discipline, you are ruled by impulses. With discipline, you rule yourself. And the man who rules himself cannot be ruled by anyone else. Machiavelli taught that a ruler's greatest weapon is preparation. Armies are not forged in war. They are forged in training. Day after day, when no one is watching, your discipline is that training. The battle is won long before the test arrives. In the hours you command yourself while the world sleeps. Each decision to endure, to push, to resist temptation. This is how you sharpen your blade. Cold psychology reminds us that people respect control. If you cannot command your own habits, why should anyone obey your words? Or discipline radiates authority without a single threat. The disciplined man carries an aura of inevitability because everyone knows he will outlast them. Stoicism strengthens it further. The Stoics knew complaining solves nothing. They endured quietly because resilience is built in silence. Discipline is the same. You rise when tired, you build when bored, you endure when it hurts. Every act of control hardens you until you no longer bend where others collapse. Understand this. Discipline is not about one heroic act. It is about small, relentless choices. The 1% daily that compounds into power. It is not glamorous, it is not praised, but it is undeniable. And when your discipline becomes habit, habit becomes identity, and identity becomes empire. Comment below. Discipline is my throne. 5. The psychology of fear and control. Power is never neutral. You either command it or you are crushed by it. And in the realm of power, two forces dominate above all others: fear and control. Master them, and you become untouchable. Ignore them, and you are prey. Machiavelli wrote that it is safer to be feared than loved. Why? Because love is fragile. It bends with circumstance. It disappears when tested. But fear endures. Fear keeps men loyal when love has already betrayed you. Yet fear alone is not enough. If men fear you but do not respect you, they will plot in shadows, waiting for the moment to strike. The true strategist knows. Fear and respect must be fused. Together they create stability. Together they build thrones. So how do you command fear? Not with wild threats or loud noise. Fear does not come from volume, it comes from consequence. When you speak, people must know your words carry weight. When disrespected, you respond without hesitation. When betrayed, you cut ruthlessly. No emotion, no hesitation. The lesson is clear. Crossing you is costly. That is how fear is born, not from cruelty, but from certainty. And how do you command respect? By living in discipline. By being the man who does not break when tested, who does not abandon his word, who does not fold under pressure. Most men collapse at the first sign of resistance. You endure. Most men promise but fail to deliver. You execute. Most men complain. You stay silent and act. Respect comes when others realize you are made of different material. Cold psychology explains this further. People are always testing limits. They push to see if the boundary holds. If you tolerate disrespect once, you invite it forever. If you enforce immediately, calmly, decisively, they remember the line is unmovable. Fear anchors it. Respect strengthens it. Stoicism sharpens this edge. Anger exposes weakness. Rage makes you predictable. But the Stoic man, silent, deliberate, unshaken, terrifies more than the loud tyrant. When you punish without emotion, when you act without hesitation, when you enforce without a single wasted word, you are unreadable and people fear what they cannot read. Picture it. You enter a room and the air shifts, voices lower, people watch their words, they sense your presence before you speak. That is fear and respect fused together. That is authority that does not beg, does not shout, does not need validation. It simply exists. This is not cruelty, this is sovereignty. Weak men believe kindness will protect them, but kindness without strength invites betrayal. Fear without respect breeds rebellion. Respect without fear breeds exploitation. Only the union of both makes you untouchable. Comment below. I rule with fear and control. 6. The fortress of the mind. The strongest fortress is not made of stone or steel. It is not guarded by walls or soldiers. The strongest fortress is built within your own skull, your mind. If it is weak, no wealth, no allies, no army will save you. If it is strong, you can stand alone against the world and still endure. Most men live in ruins. Their thoughts are scattered, their emotions unguarded, their focus broken. One insult rattles them. One failure shatters them. One betrayal leaves them crawling in despair. They hand their throne to fear and doubt and then wonder why they are ruled by misery. Machiavelli warned rulers never to wait until war to fortify their walls. Strengthen them in times of peace or be destroyed when chaos arrives. Your mind works the same way. Do not wait for crisis to harden yourself. Train now, discipline now, build now. Because when storms come, and they always come, the man with no fortress collapses instantly. How do you build this fortress? Start with thought. Every thought is a soldier. Weak thoughts, fear, envy, self-pity are traitors. They weaken the gates. They sabotage the walls. You must root them out and replace them with disciplined soldiers. Focus, clarity, calculation. Each choice to resist weakness strengthens the army inside your head. Cold psychology explains this. People will always try to breach your defenses. They will throw insults, provoke emotions, plant seeds of doubt. If you react blindly, you open the gates. But if you remain calm, detached, and silent, they realize there is no entry point. Silence is steel. Detachment is stone. Self-command is fire. Together, they make your fortress unbreakable. And remember, every fortress has gates. Most men let anyone inside. They consume the poison of critics, the noise of the crowd, the weakness of fools. No wonder their walls fall. You must guard the gates with merciless discipline. Allow only strength to enter. Useful knowledge, strategy, resolve. Everything else, banish it without hesitation. Stoicism completes the structure. Pain is not destruction. It is raw material. Fire can consume or it can forge. Every setback, every rejection, every betrayal, each is a brick you can use. The Stoics knew the obstacle is not the end. The obstacle is the path. Your walls grow taller with every storm because each trial strengthens your foundation. This fortress is not built overnight. It is built daily. Each disciplined act lays a stone. Each controlled reaction raises a tower. Each silence in the face of provocation adds another layer of armor. Over time, you become immovable. The storms still rage. The world still tests you, but nothing breaches your walls. And here is the transformation. People will feel it. They won't know why their insults failed to touch you, why pressure doesn't break you, why failure doesn't stop you. They will sense the fortress inside you. Some will respect it, others will fear it, but none will ignore it. Build it, reinforce it, guard it ruthlessly, because the man who rules his mind cannot be conquered. Comment below. My mind is my fortress. 7. The long game of strategy. The impatient man burns out. The strategist endures. Most men crave quick victories, instant wealth, fast results, sudden recognition. But what comes quickly dies quickly. The impatient chase flames. The strategist builds fire that never goes out. Machiavelli warned that fortune cannot be trusted. The man who depends on chance will be broken when luck turns. The wise man plays the long game. He prepares. He positions. He moves pieces long before anyone else sees the board, and when chaos strikes, he is not caught off guard. He is already 3 moves ahead. Look at the crowd. They want everything now. They chase distractions. They waste years on pleasures that weaken them. Their empires are built on sand and the first storm sweeps them away. You must be different. You must build on stone. Each decision, each sacrifice, each disciplined act is a brick. It may look small today, invisible even, but stacked daily, it becomes unshakable. The long game demands sacrifice. You cannot indulge like the rest. You cannot chase every opportunity. You cannot bow to comfort. Every choice must serve your throne. Every action must align with your vision. If it weakens you, cut it away. If it strengthens you, embrace it. No matter how difficult, no matter how boring, cold psychology reveals the truth. Most people cannot think beyond tomorrow. They live in impulses. They react to fear, to temptation, to noise. They are predictable. And predictability is weakness. You, however, must become unpredictable by thinking in years. While they stumble day to day, you are building inevitability. While they waste, you position. While they collapse, you sharpen. Machiavelli also advised rulers to appear virtuous while acting strategically. Outwardly, you may display patience, humility, or kindness. Inwardly, you calculate, maneuver, prepare. That is the art of deception. The long game requires masks. You let others underestimate you. And then, when the moment is perfect, you strike once, cleanly and decisively. Stoicism fuels this patience. The weak abandon their goals when results don't come fast enough. The Stoic endures. He knows growth is invisible at first. 1% daily feels like nothing, but in a year it is transformation. In 5 years it is dominance. In 10 it is empire. The Stoic strategist embraces silence, knowing that power is not built in noise, but in persistence. And yes, the long game is lonely. It is slow. It is without applause. People will mock your discipline, laugh at your patience, tempt you with distractions. Let them, for in time they will kneel before the results they could never achieve. The long game is not glamorous. It is ruthless. It requires that you think decades ahead while others can barely think beyond today. But it is the only path to power that lasts. Build slowly. Build deliberately. Build inevitably. When you move, you will not just win. You will dominate so completely that no one remembers your rivals. Comment below, I master the long game. 8. Commanding respect and fear. Power is never given freely. It is taken then maintained through 2 forces that outlast all others. Respect and fear. Admiration fades. Popularity is fragile. Love is conditional, but respect and fear when fused together create bonds that hold men in place. Without them, you are disposable. With them, you become untouchable. Machiavelli declared, "It is safer to be feared than loved." Why? Because love bends under pressure. Love dies when tested, but fear is tied to survival. It keeps men loyal when love has already betrayed you. Yet fear alone is not enough. Fear without respect breeds hatred. Hatred breeds plots. Respect without fear breeds exploitation. The balance of both creates stability. That balance makes a throne unshakable. So how do you command fear? Not with shouting, not with reckless cruelty. Fear comes from consequence. It is born when people realize your words are iron, that every promise, every boundary, every warning is enforced without hesitation. When disrespected, you respond calmly but decisively. When betrayed, you act ruthlessly and without regret. The lesson becomes clear. Crossing you is costly. This certainty, not noise, is the root of fear. And how do you command respect? Through discipline. By embodying what most men cannot. The world is full of those who collapse under pressure, abandon their word, betray their own principles. You must not. When you endure what others cannot, when you rise where others fold, when your silence carries more weight than their shouting, that is respect. People respect what they cannot break. Cold psychology explains it further. People constantly test limits. They push to see if your boundary holds. If you tolerate disrespect once, you have declared weakness. If you enforce it immediately without apology, the line is etched permanently. Fear protects the line. Respect honors the line. Together, they make it immovable. Stoicism sharpens this authority. Anger weakens fear. Rage makes you predictable. A man who loses his temper shows he can be controlled. But the stoic man, silent, deliberate, cold, terrifies more than the loud tyrant. When you punish without emotion, when you enforce without words, when you cut ties without hesitation, you are unreadable and people fear what they cannot read. Picture it. You enter a room and the atmosphere shifts. Voices lower, movement slow, eyes turn toward you, not because you shouted, but because your presence carries weight. They sense authority. They sense consequence. That is respect fused with fear. This is not cruelty. It is sovereignty. The naive believe kindness alone protects them. But kindness without strength invites betrayal. Fear without respect invites rebellion. Respect without fear invites exploitation. Only the union of both makes you untouchable, so cultivate both daily. Live with consistency. Enforce boundaries coldly. Speak little. Act decisively. Soon people will not cross you. Not because they love you, but because they fear losing your respect and dread facing your consequence. That is true authority. Comment below. Respect and fear guard my throne. 9. Becoming untouchable. There comes a point in the path where progress is no longer about chasing goals, but about becoming a force. You are no longer a man fighting for scraps. You are no longer a man searching for recognition. You become something greater, a presence, an inevitability. Untouchable. Understand this. Untouchable does not mean free of struggle. It does not mean no one challenges you. It does not mean storms stop arriving. Being untouchable means the struggle does not move you. The challenge does not shake you. And the storm cannot breach your walls. Untouchable means you rise above the chaos not because it isn't there, but because it cannot reach your throne. Machiavelli compared fortune to a violent river. It floods. It destroys. It sweeps away everything in its path. The weak drown in it. But the strategist builds channels, dams, and walls long before the flood arrives. He does not deny the river. He bends it. That is what it means to be untouchable. You don't wait for chaos to crush you. You anticipate it, prepare for it, and use it to strengthen your empire. Look at most men. Fragile. Their confidence depends on approval. Their happiness depends on comfort. Their strength depends on things they cannot control. Take away their job, their relationship, their distractions, and they collapse. They are not untouchable. They are puppets. Strings pulled by circumstance. You must sever those strings. Being untouchable begins with detachment, not apathy. Detachment. The difference is crucial. Apathy is weakness pretending to be strength. It says, I don't care because I can't handle it. Detachment is power. It says, I care, but nothing owns me. Nothing controls me. Detachment means betrayal no longer destroys you. Weak men crumble when abandoned. Untouchable men learn. They see betrayal not as tragedy, but as revelation. A mask ripped off early. A gift of clarity. They don't waste energy chasing disloyalty. They cut ties cleanly and move forward stronger for the lesson. Detachment means failure no longer cripples you. Weak men fail once and never return. Untouchable men fail, analyze, adapt, and return sharper. Failure is not their end. It is their sharpening stone. Detachment means pain no longer enslaves you. Weak men avoid pain, run from it, drown in it. Untouchable men embrace it. They see pain as the blacksmith that tempers steel. Every scar, every wound, every setback becomes armor. They carry their scars like crowns because each one proves endurance. Cold psychology explains the power of this transformation. People are always probing for weakness. They test your emotions, your boundaries, your reactions. If you are easily rattled, they know where to strike. But when you show no cracks, when insults fall like dust, when rejection bounces off, when betrayal meets silence, they cannot reach you. You deny them leverage, and the man without leverage cannot be manipulated. Stoicism refines it further. The Stoics taught that you cannot control the world, only your response to it. The untouchable man masters this law. Where others panic, he remains calm. Where others rage, he remains silent. Where others beg, he remains deliberate. This calm is terrifying because it reveals absolute control. He is not playing the same game as the rest. Untouchable does not mean passive. You still strike. You still advance. But the difference is this: your strikes are chosen, not provoked. You no longer react to the enemy. You dictate the game. That is the ultimate level of power. You become the player, not the piece. This transformation demands sacrifice. You must sever attachments to illusions, stop needing validation, stop chasing recognition, stop clinging to comfort. Each dependency you cut away strengthens your fortress. Each craving you destroy makes you freer. And freedom is the core of untouchability. The man who needs nothing cannot be controlled. Picture this. You enter a room. You say nothing. Yet people shift. They lower their voices. They sense something. Weight, presence, inevitability. They cannot explain it, but they feel it. That is the aura of the untouchable man. He does not chase recognition, yet recognition bends to him. He does not demand respect, yet respect surrounds him. He does not beg for loyalty, yet loyalty forms instinctively around him because others sense they cannot shake him. And here is the paradox. When you reach this state, the world tests you more, not less. Enemies will appear, challenges will rise, but instead of breaking you, each test becomes another layer of armor. Each storm sharpens your steel. Each enemy's resistance strengthens your resolve. The world throws weight at you and you absorb it until you become the immovable object, the inevitable victor. This is why becoming untouchable is not about avoiding war. It is about mastering it. You do not run from conflict. You transform conflict into energy. You do not deny chaos. You convert chaos into order. You do not fear betrayal. You turn betrayal into wisdom. You do not collapse in pain. You build from it. That is the highest level of power. So ask yourself, are you fragile, waiting for fortune to spare you? Or are you untouchable, bending fortune to your will? Do you crave comfort, or do you crave power? Do you beg for approval, or do you command respect and fear without a word? The answer determines everything. When you reach untouchability, nothing external can break you. You may lose wealth, you may lose allies, you may lose battles, but you will never lose yourself. And the man who cannot be broken from within can never truly be defeated. Comment below. I am untouchable. 10. The closing command. This is the end of the path. The conclusion of everything we have built together in this monologue. We have spoken of discipline, of focus, of strategy, of fear and respect, of the fortress of the mind, of the long game of becoming untouchable. But none of it matters unless you act. None of it matters unless you choose today, right now, to step into the role the world fears, the sovereign man. Understand this. The world does not reward potential. It does not respect the man who could. It does not honor the man who almost. History remembers only the man who did, the one who executed, the one who moved when others hesitated, the one who endured when others collapsed. That is the man the world bows to. That is the man whose name lingers after death. And that is the man you must become. Machiavelli taught that power is not given, it is taken. But to take it, you must build yourself into the kind of man who cannot be denied. That requires discipline sharper than steel, focus unshakable as stone, strategy colder than winter, a fortress of a mind impenetrable to doubt and weakness. It requires you to live as if every day is war, because it is. Most men will never do this. They will waste their lives in mediocrity, chained by distraction, enslaved by comfort, ruled by fear. They will rot quietly, remembered by no one, respected by no one, feared by no one. They will trade power for pleasure. And by the time they realize their error, it will be too late. But not you. Not if you commit now. To become untouchable, You must cut deeper than they can bear. You must sever ties to weakness without hesitation. You must kill your dependence on approval, destroy your addiction to comfort, and bury your obsession with immediate reward. Each cut is painful. Each sacrifice feels like loss. But every sacrifice lays another stone in your fortress, another brick in your empire, another layer of armor on your soul. Cold psychology confirms this. Men are predictable. They want easy wins, soft lives, constant validation. They cannot play the long game. They cannot endure silence. They cannot resist temptation. That predictability is their prison and your advantage. Because when they collapse, you will remain. When they fail, you will rise. When they fade, you will still be here unshaken. Inevitable. Stoicism makes this practical. You cannot control the storms, but you can control your response. You cannot stop betrayal, but you can decide how you rise from it. You cannot prevent pain, but you can choose whether it destroys you or forges you. The Stoics knew the obstacle is the path. Every enemy, every setback, every scar is not an interruption. It is the raw material of greatness. And so here is the command. Improve 1% every day, ruthlessly, coldly, silently. Build discipline into habit, habit into armor, armor into empire. Play the long game. Master strategy. Command fear and respect. Fortify your mind until no storm can breach it. Walk the path until failure itself whispers your name with hesitation. This is how you rise. This is how you become untouchable. One day, if you follow this path, the world will notice. They will not understand how you endured. They will not comprehend how you advanced. They will call you lucky. They will call you chosen. But you will know the truth. It was not luck. It was not fate. It was strategy. It was discipline. It was daily war. It was 1% every single day compounded until the impossible became inevitable. And when that day comes, when you stand above those who mocked you, those who doubted you, those who betrayed you, you will not need to shout. You will not need to explain. Your presence will say it all. I cannot be broken. I cannot be moved. I am untouchable. Now the choice is yours. Will you waste this? Will you let these words fade into the noise of your distractions? Or will you take this final command and execute? The path is brutal, but it is yours. The throne is heavy, but it is waiting. The fortress is cold, but it is eternal. Step into it. Build it. Rule it. Comment below. I command my destiny. And if this has sharpened you, if it has strengthened you, then do not keep it to yourself. Carry this message further. Spread the fire. Like this video. Subscribe to Mental Fort. Turn on notifications so you never miss a strike. Never miss a command. Never miss the sharpening of your mind. This is Mental Fort. Here we do not build fragile men. Here we build sovereigns. Here we build men who cannot be broken.